First principles, not borrowed answers. Most people solve problems by remembering what someone else did. The rare few strip a problem down to raw fundamentals, atoms, forces, basic logic, and rebuild the answer from scratch, ignoring what everyone knows. This is shocking because it means expertise can actually be a trap. The more formulas you memorize, the lazier your thinking gets. True problem solvers ask, why is this true? Until they hit bedrock, then climb back up with their own ladder. This is why outsiders sometimes crack problems experts have failed at for decades. They weren't carrying the wrong assumptions. Building from zero is slower at first, but it's unshakable once built, because you understand every brick instead of trusting someone else's blueprint. The 12 problems trick. Keep a mental shortlist of hard, unsolved puzzles running quietly in the background of your mind, always. Whenever you learn a new method, technique, or trick in any field, instantly test it against your list. Most times nothing happens, but occasionally a tool from chemistry cracks a puzzle in physics, or an idea from music unlocks a problem in mathematics. This is shocking because breakthroughs rarely come from working harder on one problem. They come from cross-pollination, from carrying unsolved questions everywhere you go, so lightning has more chances to strike. Genius, in this light, isn't a bigger brain. It's a wider net, cast patiently over years, waiting for one unexpected connection to land, saying, I don't know out loud. The instinct in most people is to hide confusion, to nod along, to fake understanding, to protect their ego. The real solvers do the opposite. They announce their ignorance loudly and immediately. I don't understand this. Explain it again. This is shocking because it looks like weakness, but is actually the entire engine of discovery. You cannot fix what you refuse to admit is broken. Every uncomfortable I don't know is a doorway. Close it out of pride, and you seal yourself inside your own confusion forever. Open it, and you invite the correction, the clarification, the missing piece that someone else, a student, a stranger, a child, might casually hand you. Play before pressure. Impossible problems rarely fall to people grinding away out of duty or fear of failure. They fall to people who got curious first and serious second. Approach a problem the way a child pokes at a puzzle box, not because your career depends on it, but because it's fun, strange, irritating in a way that itches at your brain. This is shocking because we're taught the opposite. Work harder, stress more, push through, but tension narrows thinking, play widens it. Some of the most important breakthroughs in history started as idle doodles, side amusements, or private games with no practical purpose at all, until, unexpectedly, they solved something enormous. Joy is not a distraction from hard problems, it is the doorway into them. If you can't explain it simply, you don't own it. There's a brutal, honest test for whether you truly understand something. Try explaining it to someone with zero background, using no jargon, no borrowed language, no hiding behind big words. This is shocking because it exposes fake understanding instantly. Plenty of people can recite a concept, almost no one can rebuild it in plain words for a stranger. The moment you struggle to simplify something, you've found the exact edge of your own understanding, the precise spot where confusion still lives, disguised as knowledge. Teaching then isn't something you do after mastering a subject. It's the tool you use to actually master it, because the blank stare of a beginner will catch every gap your own pride was quietly covering up. Patience with failure, not despair. Impossible problems don't yield to a single brilliant flash. They yield to hundreds of small, boring, failed attempts, absorbed calmly one after another, without emotional collapse. This is shocking because our culture worships the eureka moment and hides the years of fumbling before it. The real skill isn't intelligence, it's tolerance for being wrong repeatedly without quitting or panicking. Think of someone patiently trying combination after combination on a locked safe, calm, curious, almost enjoying the process of elimination. Each failure isn't a setback. It's one more possibility crossed off the list, bringing the real answer closer. Impossible problems are solved less by genius and more by an almost stubborn refusal to be discouraged by not knowing yet. How impossible problems get solved. What if the smartest people you've ever heard of weren't actually smarter than you? They just refused to lie to themselves. I want to tell you something that sounds crazy at first. The hardest problems in the world, the ones that stump entire committees of experts, the ones that sit unsolved for decades, they don't get cracked by the person with the highest IQ in the room. They get cracked by the person willing to look foolish first. Here's what I mean. Somewhere, right now, there's a person staring at a problem everyone else gave up on. And instead of reaching for the textbook answer, instead of quoting what some famous professor once said, They do something almost embarrassingly simple. They ask, wait, what is this thing, really? Not what everyone calls it, what is it actually? And they start from zero. No borrowed assumptions, no inherited shortcuts. Just raw curiosity, rebuilding the whole idea brick by brick, like a kid taking apart a radio just to see how the pieces talk to each other. And here's the part that should shock you. That person is not afraid to say, I don't understand this, out loud, in front of colleagues, in front of people who are supposedly smarter, because they know something the rest of us forget. Pretending to understand is how ignorance survives. Admitting confusion is how it dies. They carry a dozen unsolved puzzles around in their head, quietly for years, and one ordinary afternoon, learning something completely unrelated, a card trick, a pattern in music, a wobble in a spinning plate in a cafeteria, suddenly a piece clicks into a totally different puzzle they've been stuck on. Not because they were hunting for the answer, because they were playing, because curiosity, not pressure, was steering the ship. And when they finally understand something, they don't hoard it in complicated language to sound impressive. They try to explain it to a complete beginner in plain words, and if they can't, they know instantly they didn't actually understand it themselves. That's the real test. Not exams, not diplomas. Can you make a child see it? And through all of this, the failed attempts, the wrong turns, the embarrassing dead ends, they stay calm, almost amused, like someone patiently spinning the dial on a locked safe, unbothered by the clicks that don't work. Because each wrong click is one possibility closer to the right one. That's the whole secret. Not genius, not luck, just relentless honesty, playful curiosity, and the patience to fail without falling apart. Impossible problems were never actually impossible. They were only unsolved by people too proud to say, I don't know, too rushed to play, and too impatient to fail quietly enough times to find the answer. The method was never locked away in some rare genius gene. It's available to anyone willing to start from zero, stay curious, explain things simply, and keep turning the dial long after everyone else has walked away. The next impossible problem in your life is waiting for exactly that kind of person. It might as well be you. What if I told you that every impossible problem in human history was solved by someone who at some point looked completely foolish? Not because they were the smartest person in the room, but because they were the only one honest enough to say, I don't understand this yet. While everyone else nodded along, pretending, they asked the embarrassing question, the obvious one, the childish one. What if the real secret to solving anything wasn't intelligence at all, but curiosity without ego? What if the breakthrough you're waiting for isn't hiding in a textbook, but in a moment of play, a random idea, a wrong attempt you almost gave up on? Somewhere between failure number 1 and failure number 100, the answer was always sitting there, waiting for someone patient enough, curious enough, and honest enough to notice it. By the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how that mind works and how you already have it in you. Stay with me. This is going to change how you look at every hard problem you'll ever face again. The illusion of knowing what if everything you know is actually a fake. There's a strange trick our brain plays on us. We recognize a word, we nod along in a lecture. We highlight a sentence in a textbook, and we mistake that comfortable feeling of recognition for real understanding. But recognition is not understanding. You can recognize a face without knowing the person's name, their story, their heart. Knowledge works the same way. This keynote is about catching yourself in that illusion, noticing the exact moment you say, yeah, I get it, without being able to explain it to a stranger on the street. The learning method we're discussing today builds its entire foundation on destroying this illusion first, before anything else can be built. It forces you to test your understanding constantly, brutally, honestly, not to make you feel bad, but to show you exactly where the fog is hiding in your mind.